And meanwhile, there's a renewed effort tonight to make it safer for kids to ride school buses.
The federal government has done an about-face and is now recommending school buses nationwide install seatbelts. But we've learned not everyone thinks this is a good idea.
We have in-depth coverage of the recommendation tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado has the details.
This is a change in position for the federal agency, which previously said seatbelts weren't necessary on school buses. For the first time, the head of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says school buses should have seatbelts. It's a big change. Until now, the agency's stance was that the design of a bus protects kids, rendering seatbelts unnecessary.
We were very excited to hear that.
State Representative Bobby Nardolillo has been working on requiring seatbelts on Rhode Island school buses. Currently, the Department of Education only requires them on transportation for students with disabilities. Nardolillo introduced a bill this past session and will do so again next year. He calls it common sense.
I turn to my children and I say, put your seatbelts on, this car's not going to move an inch. We drive to the bus stop, their seatbelts are on, through the transportation there, they get out of my car, they get onto the school bus, no seatbelts. It's a free-for-all.
As long as you're sitting in your seat right, you know, the way you should be, you're not going to get hurt.
Richard Wilson drove a school bus for 23 years. Now he's a bus aide, as is Christine Shackleton. They tell me they would be concerned about evacuating kids in the event of an emergency.
I would be very afraid having to get them children out if there was a fire. You have 2.5 minutes to clear that bus. You have 2 emergency exits. You're not going to get them out.
Now, coming up new at 6, we'll look at school bus crashes in our area, and we'll show you the statistics on fatalities. Live in the news in the control room, Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
Now we have in-depth coverage for you on a call for school bus seatbelts. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration just reversed its stance on the issue, supporting bus safety belts but not requiring them. New at 6 tonight, a look at the number of school bus crashes in Rhode Island. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado joins us now live in the newsroom with more.
The federal agency has always said school buses are safe. Now its chief is saying they would be safer with seatbelts. School bus crashes usually make headlines. 5 children were hurt in this Woonsocket crash last year. In Seekonk in 2012, just the bus driver. In Houston this past September, 2 students were killed in a school bus crash. Now the head of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, says for the first time, school buses should have seatbelts.
Buckle up, it's the law.
Representative Bobby Nardolillo is introducing a bill in Rhode Island to mandate seatbelts on school buses.
This is common sense legislation.
We checked the numbers. The most recent report from NHTSA studied school bus crashes in Rhode Island between 2008 and 2012. In those 5 years, there were 5 serious injuries and 1 fatality, less than 1% of all traffic deaths. That low fatality rate was part of NHTSA's argument that buckling up wasn't necessary. Now, the federal traffic chief says seatbelts would make buses even safer. Local bus aides we talked to had concerns.
I would be very afraid having to get them children out if there was a fire. You have 2.5 minutes to clear that bus. You have 2 emergency exits. You're not going to get them out.
And currently in Rhode Island, only buses that transport students with disabilities are required to have seatbelts. Live in the newsroom tonight, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.